in diesem Jahr gesichert hat, der bei den UK Open sich in diesem Jahr zum zweiten Mal qualifizieren konnte und jetzt sein Debüt feiert auf der European Tour. Herzlich willkommen, Todd. Auch der Gegner von Todd hat sich in diesem Jahr erst die Tourcard sichern können, war schon zum wiederholten Mal auf dem European Tour Event mit dabei und hat zuletzt einen großen Erfolg feiern können auf der Pro Tour. Anfang August erreichte er sein erstes Pro Tour Finale. Der Mann ist in absoluter Topform. Freuen uns auf ihn. Richard Northey.
Welcome back to the Happy Bet German Darts Grand Prix here in Mannheim. Tony Martinez, Jamie Caven, Jan Decker and Jermaine Watermain are all through to the second round. That will take place tomorrow, and the winner of this contest will take on Michael van Gerwen on Saturday. Will it be Richard North, a man who has been in fine form in his debut season as a professional darts player, or Mick Todd? Hasn't got a tour card at the moment, but looking to play the role of spoiler here at the German Darts Grand Prix, because this is a huge match for Richard North. It's got all sorts of repercussions. Could see him reach a World Grand Prix in his debut season. Paul Nicholson joins me in the commentary box for this one. And Paul, what an achievement that could be.
It would be a sensational achievement. I've managed to nick a space myself in my debut season, and I thought that was way out of reach before I even started. But Northey, over the last few months, he's found something, hasn't he? He's found some confidence. Well, let's face it, he's not really short of confidence. But he's found some confidence on the board, and he's taken his game to a whole different level now. And can he take that level to Dublin?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg, Richard to throw first. Game on!
Yeah, moved to the next level last month, reaching his first PDC final, losing out to Dave Chisnell in Barnsley. And that's the kind of form that's seen him put himself in contention for all the big TV majors.
I was speaking to Richard just before we came down to commentate for this game, and it was stereotypical North. He was just very chatty and very upbeat. And to be honest with you, I know we go on about the fact that he talks a lot, but you can't help but marvel at the amount of positivity that comes out of the guy when he's walking around a darts venue. And if you can manage to have that kind of positivity through a career, you're going to do a lot of good things. Now, things have changed for Northey over the last few weeks, haven't they? He's become a dad. He's now got an 8-day-old little girl called Loretta Eve North. Now, Tracy's at home watching. Very proud of Richard, who also played last week, but I suppose everybody, including them, are quite happy about the fact they didn't follow in the footsteps of Kim Kardashian and call their daughter Northwest, because she would be called Northwest North.
Actually, in the World Grand Prix qualification race, he would look to leapfrog Steve West. Looking to go north of West with a win here. But Richard, last week he was the mouth of the south, wasn't he? This week he's back to north-ish.
It's fascinating because he had some new shirts made, and they were definitely along the Rascal line of shirts. They were quite boisterous and colourful. But there's something about this shirt that he wears. He is so superstitious about it. He calls it his Northey shirt, and it's the one he always seems to perform in.
Yeah, maybe that's it. He didn't try he did try sort of the other shirts, but didn't get the result he wanted. So back to this. Business-like, isn't it? Business head on this weekend.
Well, he's looking for the rugby shot, isn't he? Right between the posts.
40.
Well, yeah, probably the best tactic, actually, to try and loop it over the top, because he's coming back for 40 rather than 20.
$58. Richard required 40.
3 clean darts at tops. Double 10. That is a good guide. Slight adjustment.
Game
was perfect.
First leg. Richard.
He'll take that.
Second
And it's
leg,
fair to
Richard
say that we
throw
haven't seen the
first.
best out of Mick Todd yet. I was actually on Mick Todd's board in qualifying, and he took out Robbie Green first, which in itself is a great scalp.
One runner, Fulton.
He then took out Adam Hunt, and I choked that game, and Mick Todd was brilliant. He was just absolutely brilliant.
60.
Did not give anything to Adam Hunt. And at the end of that match, Mick Todd just said, finally. Because he's been getting so close to European events this year. And finally, he's got himself through to this one. He feels that he's a lot better than his results would say.
I remember a game against Peter Wright in the UK Open qualifiers. It was selected for the streaming boards, and Mick Todd was up in between 100 and 110 for the majority of that match. Dropped off at the end. But, I mean, you see these guys play, Paul, when you're playing yourself on the Pro Tour events and in the qualifiers, and I know we keep saying it, but the standard is frightening, isn't it? In qualifying for these 2 European Tour tournaments here in Riesa in a fortnight, there were 2 9-darters. I mean, we never get them actually in the events.
Why would we? Because Ross Smith has got that cornered probably for the next decade.
But 2 9-darters in a qualifying event, incredible. I've seen 9-darters at Q School. Of course, a European Q School coming up next year for the first time. Even more opportunities.
68.
And let's not forget that in qualifying for last week, there was a 9-dart leg from Robert Allenstein. So the quality, not just in the UK, is getting better, but all over the place. Single 20 will leave tops.
57.
And let's not forget, you know, more players are getting through without tour cards. Nathan Aspinall had a very good week last week. He's back this week. Mick Todd hasn't got a card either. So it's hard for the guys with cards to actually get to these events and put money on their ranking.
Well, tops for Todd. 10s. 5s.
35.
And all of them inside
Richard, you require
the outer
89.
ring, allowing Richard North a chance to steal a march.
This is so doable, especially when you get to 57.
Game
That's a classy shot from Northie.
Richard.
In no way, shape or form was he really in that leg, but he gave himself an opportunity, and boy did he take it.
Certainly did. Calm, cool and collected. North edging closer
60.
to staying on after the Pro Tour weekend in Dublin. And I know, Paul, that you've said before it is a disheartening thing to have to fly home when the rest of the players are preparing to take to the stage at the City West.
It's awful.
54.
It's one of the worst feelings in the season. That if you've played in the World Grand Prix before, which is definitely one of my favourites, it's such a buzz being in Ireland.
One runner,
And they
Fulton.
love their darts in the Dublin area. People travel so far to come and watch that event. And because we're at the City West and we stay there, and that's where the event is taking place, it's just such a buzz around the place. And you, on the Sunday night
100.
or the Sunday morning, have to leave there and let everybody else have all the fun and the success. It's not a nice feeling.
Well, the state of play for Richard North is
60.
he's currently in the 16th and final provisional spot from the Pro Tour Order of Merit. So by winning this game, he would leapfrog Steve West. However, Robert Thornton, champion 2 years ago, who's not here,
97.
is in the final place on the main Order of Merit. But Simon Whitlock and Alan Norris, one win here, would see them go above him. And he would then fall into the Pro Tour Order of Merit places. So there's a chance
One on
that
runner,
Robert Thornton
Fulton.
could be eliminated. But a win here for North would really strengthen his hold on that position.
So what you're saying, Chris, is the situation is rather complicated.
It's complicated, but this is a huge match for Richard North. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
One on runner,
That simplifies it.
Fulton. Richard, you require 100.
And Richard does require 101 for a 3-0 lead. May have to take this. 92. Sorry, 82. Good job, it was 82.
69. Make you require
Now, Mick Todd.
110.
Can you take this 110?
Well, he couldn't hit the double with 3 clear. Can he complete a combo? Still on. Still on. Double 18.
Game Sean, the third
How many times do we see that? 3 darts at double, can't hit. 3-figure combination cleaned up, no problem at all.
Game on.
It's one of the mysteries of darts, ladies and gentlemen. Got to say as well, if you've never been in the company of Mick Todd, who I genuinely like, he's very, very fierce on the dartboard. He is a very tall man, so when and if you meet him, just call him Mr. Todd. That's what MT stands for on his sleeve.
42.
Well, he's cancelled out that break. He's made progress already in this leg, helped by the poor score of North. Is he going to try? For a 118, a severely obstructed target there. I think that was a bit of showmanship, Paul, rather than a sensible shot.
Well, he was definitely looking down on that treble 20, and he probably saw on the top right-hand side quite a lot of room there. And one thing we can definitely say is that Mick Todd has warmed up.
Well, he's found some kind of range, hasn't he?
He has.
On that treble 20. And North, having probably been feeling like it was going to be plain sailing, all of a sudden has become embroiled in a battle.
You can't take anything for granted in this game, especially when you can see your opponent is going to be level in a second, potentially.
70.
And he couldn't get that 3-dart combo. It doesn't really matter. That's a great leg from Mick Todd, because he will be back. And it doesn't really matter how much pressure Richard North puts on him here. Mick Todd should clean this up, but that is sensational.
So we'll see how much it matters. Down to a 2-darter himself. Now Mick has got a little bit mixed up. Half the bed to aim at, looking to go top side. Bottom side, he's found. Deflected off the flight.
Fifth leg, Richard to throw first.
Little kiss that helped him there.
It really did help.
60.
We'll never know where that dart would have gone if that marker dart wasn't there. But it doesn't really matter, because he got the job done. Northie was saying to me probably about 20 minutes ago, he's got new stems and flights this weekend purely because he saw earlier in the week a mate of his using them and he said, they're nice, I'll have a go with those. So you would hope that there isn't too much difference between what he's been using and what he is using now, but he obviously likes to look at the red stuff, as does Mick Todd.
Well, that's his first maximum, but it's one that he's been threatening. And at the moment, Paul, he's the better player in this match.
He is. He's scoring better. He's putting lots of pressure on Richard North. And that first dart of Mick Todd is finding that part of the 60 with regularity now. And you can see the demeanour of Todd has changed as well. He's a bit of a... He looks a bit more relaxed.
Yeah, focused and relaxed. The perfect cocktail for darting success. 15s or 19s. 19s he went.
They're the kind of shots you really want to hammer home, because you don't want to give Richard North a shot like this. 82. Went for the treble 14. I think that was the right shot.
Bigger target, I agree. We resisted the urge to shout bull, didn't we, Paul? Just in case we put Mick off. He's not a man you want to put off.
No, we are quite close to the stage. We're trying to be as quiet as possible, but at the same time, we want you guys to be able to hear us.
So 25 choices. Conventional, 888.
That looks like a good guy to me.
9 score.
He didn't use it, and he knows he's disgusted with that shot. And Northie's going to get a chance that he probably thought he wouldn't get.
Well, it's the counter-attack, isn't it?
Game
As he
shot
seals it
of
against
fifth
the
leg.
run of play.
Richard North, 6 leg, Mick to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, that was like a counter-attack, wasn't it? Just be there, just in case. Mick Todd will feel sick about that one. And you can see it's just frustration.
60.
It's like 3 putting the 16th and going on the 17th tee, and he's just got the driver out and giving it the anger shot.
Can it be even more frustrating when you're actually throwing well but they just all land the wrong side of the wire. They're naturally throwing bad darts.
It's incredibly frustrating, this game, no matter how you play it. But in those circumstances, yes, it is very,
59.
very, very frustrating. Because take double four, for instance. If you get your darts to sit up nice and upright, like Northey does, you could line them up, one across the top wire, one against the middle part of it, one against the bottom. 3 brilliantly thrown darts, but they're all maybe 1.5 millimeters away. That's the kind of margins we're definitely looking at.
96.
I've met a couple of times before this pair. 5 years between those meetings. Todd winning 6-4 in the first one back in 2012, but Richard North seeing off Mick 6-1 in Milton Keynes Pro Tour event early this year, a weekend when he reached back-to-back quarter-finals, and that was really one of the signs of what was to follow this year for Richard North. And I know the PDC have a lavish awards dinner in January at the Dorchester, and any other year Richard North would have been a hot contender for Newcomer of the Year, wouldn't he? I think that a bloke called Rob Cross might just pip him to the post in that one.
95.
The year's not over.
Well,
And when it comes
true.
to the awards, it's what you do from now until the end of the year that will count for the best. But
well, I'll
Rob
leave
Cross,
your judgment to that, but it says of the year.
56.
there have been times where awards have gone certain places that probably shouldn't have. But
There've even
whatever's
been
fresh in
times-
their memory.
Even been times when players have won major titles haven't been picked for the Premier League, Paul.
I'm not going to get into that.
69.
Now,
That's a layup.
he laid up. He's saying that Mick can't hit this. Can Mick Todd hit this? He played mind games with Mick Todd there. It takes someone with incredible confidence to do that. Trust me.
You require full
Not something I would do. But it'll probably pay off.
He doesn't want to look a fool and then miss 3 darts at this, does he?
Game
And he
shot, the
hasn't.
sixth
Richard
leg.
North
Richard North
has wrestled back control of this contest.
Game on.
Well, it's been a game of 3 halves so far, isn't it? 2 legs, 2 legs, 2 legs. 2 to North, 2 to Todd, 2 to North again. Can Mick Todd get back on level terms with another 2-leg spurt of his own?
95.
We talked about Mick Todd's qualification. Richard North didn't have it all his own way. Devin Peterson was in a corker, 6-5, came through that one, and then took a Ronnie Baxter to get here. Comfortable scoreline of 6-1.
2 big names to beat just to qualify for this European Tour event. And he'll have the biggest name of the lot should he come through it. Michael van Gerwen awaits the winner. Having returned to victory last weekend in Maastricht.
Yeah, there was a resounding feeling of good to have him back last week. Yes, we were in the Netherlands, his home country, and he hadn't seen him play since Blackpool, but it was great to have the MVG buzz in the arena, as well as all the other guys who were there.
It's funny how things work out, but it was a perfect tournament for him to return, wasn't it? Just happened to be the 1st of September when he was planning to come back.
59.
We'll see what kind of touch he's in this weekend. This is, again, not too far from where he lives. It's only a few hours' drive. Whereas all of the British qualifiers have got to get a flight over and would probably have arrived yesterday. Michael van Gerwen will be making his way here today. And by the time he gets here, he will know who he's going to play. At this point in time, it's looking more and more like Richard North.
100.
Yeah,
Which is required
Todd
136.
perhaps lost a leg he should have won, and it may have just affected him.
Wants to hit 96 here to leave tops, and does so.
96.
That's very tidy indeed.
142.
Have to be something special to get himself back into the match, and again just rest the dart on the top wire.
Favourite finishes 142. I like it. 2 treble 17s for tops there.
Require 40.
You get the 2 treble 17s, and tops is wide open to be hit. However, it's tops that North needs.
Game
Tops he
started,
gets.
seventh leg.
And it's a 3-leg spurt from Northie
To throw
for a
first.
5-2 advantage.
Closing in on round 2, closing in on potentially reaching the World Grand Prix.
One round
But
of
Mick Todd will not roll over.
Kind of ironic that he can knock Robert Thornton out of
46.
the World Grand Prix. Got the same agent. Mick Todd is shaking his head.
Well, interesting, it's a combination of Simon Whitlock, Steve West and Richard North. All under the same management. Alan Norris as well isn't, but... Yeah, it'll be an interesting subplot. We'll talk more about that as the weekend reaches its conclusion.
And it will get simpler as the weekend goes on. And prospectively going into Risa, we will know everything that we need to know.
Yeah, not sure Richard North will be thinking about it much. I think he's one of the players who just thinks, well, if I play my best game and win matches, I'll qualify for what I deserve to qualify for.
Depends how much time you spend with him, because he may bring it up a bit more if you know him a bit better. I know that when James Hubbard was trying to qualify for the World Match Play for the first time, he was talking about it every 5 minutes. I think it's more prudent to just get on with this game right now and think, you know what? I'm in this really great tournament here, the German Darts Grand Prix. I want to win this tournament. Never mind the other ones. I want to win this one. And I want to win this game first.
Yeah, and you can put unnecessary pressure on yourself. Not much pressure on this 70 checkout for Todd.
54.
North may well be thinking about the next leg, but he did this earlier, didn't he? Landed a huge shot with Todd on a double.
80.
That's unfortunate.
That's the perfect word for that. That is unfortunate. It was a good dart. Just flicked off the top flight. That one is right in the bottom corner. And it's 5-3 to North. And I hate to mention it, I remember a game with Richard against Devin Peterson earlier this year in Leverkusen. And they would both admit it wasn't their best game of darts, but Devin came out on top there. But after taking Devin out in qualifying, Richard North has just shown a bit of class there to say, this is mine.
I commentated on that game with Dan Dawson, and the
100.
couldn't get over the finish line at the end. The last leg, I think there was about 20 missed darts at double. But we said that Richard North may well have been thinking about this leg, the one where he has a throw and still that pushing. This is the time to get the job done.
When you've hit a treble 5 and a single 20, and your opponent is lurking, you hit that 60 there. That was a world-class treble 20.
95.
And a few drifters for Northie. There's another one. He's got 196 left.
Yeah, so needs to find a treble to leave himself a finish.
We won't be panicking yet because Mick Todd needs 3 perfect darts to leave a finish. Needs a treble 19 or 2 treble 20s. 6 darts from 177 to win this match then.
59.
Very simple. 137 tops. That's what he'll be saying to himself. How many times has he done that in practice?
60.
But now, stick a bit of pressure in the mixing pot and things get so much harder.
Well, let's see what Mick Todd can conjure up here. Needs a treble to leave any kind of finish. There it is. Another one does apply some pressure.
I like 18s there. Single 18 would have left 152, which is an easier finish than 151. However, 117 could go.
57. Can't find it, so Todd will get a shot. The 151.
51.
It's a big ask for the big man. Not going to happen in North this time. With a massive opportunity
57.
to finish this off and set up a second round clash with Michael van Gerwen.
20 in tops. Tops has been good to him in this match. So is Tens, but he doesn't want to use it. It's a great guide. It's there. It's a great performance from Richard North. A very professional performance in a 6-3 victory over Mick Todd. Very pensive and thoughtful Richard North shakes the hands of the officials and Russ Bray, our referee. Well done to him. He takes on MVG tomorrow. That'll be very interesting indeed. But for now, he takes some advice from our referee. Back to the table. We will grab a word with Richard in a second. Very entertaining match. Next, we've got coming up Nathan Aspinall, another non-tour card holder who's made it here to Mannheim. He takes on one of the home heroes, Ben Royth.
Wollen mal hören, was Richard dazu sagt. Richard, congratulations. What's your opinion about this first round match?
Wasn't pretty from either of us. Mick didn't get going. He's a class player. Didn't show it today. Scraped through. Looking forward to playing Michael tomorrow. I think we both didn't really bother because we knew he was playing Michael tomorrow. So.
Is that a good or bad news to play Michael tomorrow?
Yeah, no, it'd be good. It'd be good fun to play best player in the world on the stage. So you never know, I might win a leg or two.
No, wrong thinking. I mean, the final on Pro Tour, beginning of August, that gives confidence.
Yeah, I was playing well. I enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm getting more confident as I get on. So hopefully keep plugging along and get a few more finals maybe. You never know.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that match against MVG. Yeah. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Richard. Richard North. Der sagt, vielleicht hat uns ja beide so ein bisschen